Hello, hello, are we live? I'm just going to turn the music down a bit for the intro, because it's still kind of loud compared to my voice. Tell me if the audio balance is good, guys. I want the music to be audible, but to be kind of, you know, background. Hello, welcome back to Debate Direct. It's been a while, it's been a full week. Again, I want to do more of these in the midweek, but it's easier said than done. And especially when you're collaborating with people, having a more consistent slot really helps. As you can see, I'm not alone today, and I'll introduce you to our two collaborators in a moment. You know, you probably already know them. They've been here before. They were in the last episode. But yeah, not that this is a continuous series, of course. And also, about the music, I was thinking about using more relevant, you know, on-brand music for this stream. But if I go to the game screen here, we can get rid of the arcade filter because I'm not playing a game. You can see today's like going through it today. 20 likes, I'll do another stream similar to this as soon as I can. And which is the most underrated Star Wars movie? Which one is the most underrated, do you think? Now, the reason I talk about on-brand music, guys, is because the last time I tried using on-brand music in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 live stream, which was really fun. And this actually got 6 likes, which is okay. I might come back to this game, I'm not sure. It'll probably be a one-off, but I've got a free slot on the horizon in terms of games, because I'm probably not going to play Among Us again until the update releases, so I'm kind of in two minds on making this a series, because there's so many other things which could also be a series. But unfortunately, there was a copyright claim. Now, all this means is that I can't monetize it, because the music's owned by, you know, John Williams or whoever. Like you see, all of the stuff was like copyright, and that's fine. And you know, I'm not even close to monetization yet, so I'm not fussed. But you know, just in case, I'd rather use, you know, royalty-free, copyright-free music that I've got playing anyway. So I hope you guys don't mind. Anyways, I'm gonna get a move on because I'm having a stupidly busy day. I won't go into it, but like I woke up late, and then I had work to do here, and I had work to do there, and I've been enjoying it all, but like I'm a little bit scatterbrained. So yeah, bear with me. Sorry if I'm a little bit out of it, guys. Today I am with no one. I'm with no one. Okay, so Diamond Chef only recently woke up, so I don't know where he's at. Ethan's got to go, but he'll be back before the end of the stream. So I'm just going to leave him a message. Have a good time. See you soon. So, okay, I'm starting on my own, but that's fine. I'm going to keep an eye on the waiting room. Don't mind my new Discord theme, guys. It's a lovely one. Very relaxing. So, okay. Alright, let's get into this. So, Star Wars. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars is one of the highest grossing movie franchises of all time. The films themselves are legendary pieces of art that have spawned millions more movies, TV shows, comics, fan art, fan content, conventions, and other discussions and creations. But how do I rate them? We can argue over what objectively did the best in terms of popularity or, film craft, but out of the original 6 movies, and maybe a couple more, how will they fare on this tier list? Join me and my friends as we discuss Star Wars and movie making. Now, these two unfortunately aren't here right now. They'll join before the hour's over, hopefully. But the tier list, if you want to try this tier list for yourself, live with me, the link is in the description. So if you want to check that out, you can access the link, and it'll take you to tiermaker.com. I love this website, and I love doing tier lists. I think it's a really good way of visualizing stuff to debate about, and it's like, oh yeah, this is better than that, or whatever. And it's really customizable as well. You can change the color schemes on here. For some reason, I leave it black. You can go into presentation mode, which I think is going to be better for the stream. And they're very customizable. This is one that someone else has made. I've made a few tier lists. But you can actually customize the label text yourself, change the rows, the images for the rows, the order. And on some tier lists, you can change it to be a 2 axes kind of measurement, so you can have 2 values. But this one is just a straight up, list. So S for super, A, B, C, D, and pretend it doesn't exist, which is effectively E, F, U. So, not too many ranks because we've only got so many movies here. We don't need to separate them that much. But yeah. So, for those of you who don't know about tier lists, basically, the ones that I think I'm the best I'm going to put up here, S is better than A is better than B, and so on. And if it's really bad, I'm going to put it in D. Now, there's one slight problem. I haven't seen all these movies. Let me just take a sip of hydration and talk to chat. Okay, how are we doing? DJ, it is indeed showtime! I was thinking of The Incredibles to me when you said that for some reason. I can see Livy's here. Hello, thank you for joining us. You want me to turn my mic up a bit? Alright, mic is going up. How does it sound? Hello, Platty. Hello, Lil Racky. Hello, Glitch. Hello, Angry Candy Cadet. Thank you all so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Leave a like if you're excited. Yeah, exactly, DJ. I don't mind, even if it was taken down, it's just a stream. But, I'm not worried about monetization yet. If my channel does grow, because it is growing, guys, my channel's growing. If it does grow to the point where I could monetize, that'd be epic. It probably still would be, pennies, but, it would be interesting to monetize this. It would be really good for me, because I don't have an income, and I'm struggling to find a job. Let me just, let's just get into this. So, the problem is, hang on a second. Right, you can just type straight into these, right? I don't want to edit that. But, I haven't seen some of these movies. Solo is a movie I haven't seen. I haven't really heard anything good about it. I've had details of it spoiled to me. I'm not really fussed about it, but I'm afraid I have to pretend it doesn't exist, because I haven't seen it. I can't rate it. Sorry. Now, I also need to rewatch the sequel trilogy. I rewatched the original 6 movies with my girlfriend when she last visited, and I also rewatched Rogue One last night, because I wanted to refresh my memory on it. The Clone Wars is also something I'm familiar with. This is actually the Clone Wars movie, and I have a vague-ish memory on that, so you can correct me on some details, but I remember what Clone Wars Season 1 was like fairly clearly, and they're not too different. But the thing is, I know it would be easy for me to, defend, attack the sequels as being crap, or, go, against the grain and try and be controversial and defend them up here, but I don't really know what my honest opinion of them is, because I've heard so many different conflicting opinions about episodes 7, 8, and 9, and it's been a while since I've watched them. I've only seen each one, once, maybe twice for some of it, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to just go and put it in the pretend it doesn't exist category for this stream, because I've only seen them once, it was ages ago, and Solo I've never seen. But, for the rest of them, for episodes 1 to 6, for Rogue One and the Clone Wars, I have seen all of them, and my memory is sufficient enough that I think I can fairly judge them and rate them. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into this. So, let's start in, I think, chronological order. If I'm looking at these right, this is A New Hope. It's hard to see the icons, so maybe I can zoom in a little bit, but that's A New Hope. I'm just going to put them all in the S rank in order. So, New Hope. So there's 4, 5, 6. You can see Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Then you have The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. You do get Rogue One between 3 and 4, and then Clone Wars 2 and 3. Maybe we can put them in chronological order. That'd be fun. Yeah, this is fun. I should mention, this will contain spoilers. For all the ones that are currently in the S rank, there'll be spoilers. For the others, probably also. There's going to be spoilers, guys. Because these have all been out for quite some time. You've had the opportunity to go see them. So, I'm going to put them all in here, just so I can be fair. Because I don't want to just have them all automatically in the S slot, when some of them aren't that good. Or, likewise with too high, too low. So, let's just put them all down here. And let's shove them in. Alright? Alright. So, I pretend Star Wars doesn't exist. That's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you for watching. But yeah. Hello, Glitch. Hello, Glitch. Well, I mean, that's good information to have, but hopefully I can teach you a bit, guys. Again, these movies have been out for years, decades. There are going to be spoilers. I'm sorry, but I can't really do this without spoiling them. So, let's begin. Now, A New Hope, the original, I think it's pretty solid. I'm going to give it... I think I'm going to give it a B. I think I'm going to give A New Hope a B. And here's why. So, it's the original Star Wars movie. It set the standard, which is why I'm putting it in the middle of the 5 here, but also, I genuinely think it's kind of average. It's not very good, it's not very bad. It sets up a really good story, the characters are iconic, the special effects and stuff is phenomenal for its time, all of that. Luke Skywalker's quite a relatable protagonist. I think Ben Kenobi's written really well. I love Princess Leia. She's a good, strong female from decades ago in a time when things were even more misogynistic than they are now. I think the iconography of Vader's suit, the helmet, the Death Star, all these kind of things. It's very good. It's a very good kind of exposition, introduction to this universe. It builds the universe quite rapidly, just with, the offlines, loads of iconic quotes, Ben, Obi-Wan, describes Tatooine as Mos Eisley as a hive of scum and villainy. That's all you need to know. We see the Death Star destroy Alderaan, and the brilliant acting by Carrie Fisher portrays everything you need to know about the evils of the Empire. And, I think Tarkin as well, great character. Peter Cushing, I love seeing, his portrayal of Tarkin and him against Vader. It's interesting. And I think there's a lot of good in it. The soundtrack, of course, as well. John Williams is a genius. If there is one thing that's been consistent in this entire franchise, it's the soundtrack, with exceptions. John Williams didn't do Clone Wars or Rogue One, I believe, but he did the soundtrack for all of the main movies. I will say, though, I could critique it. It's kind of bland on rewatching. I'm probably just saying this because I've seen it more times than any of the other Star Wars movies. I've rewatched this one more than any other. But I think it's got less rewatchability, which isn't necessarily important with movies, but the characters are all very black and white. You've got good guys, you've got bad guys. There's not a lot of complex kind of emotional interaction. I think there are only a few hard-hitting ones. I think when Luke discovers his aunt and uncle have been killed, that's quite hard-hitting. There probably could have been more in terms of introducing them, but I think the team, Lucasfilm at the time, did a really good job of, setting up Luke Skywalker as a character. They took their time with showing him, his family life. The pacing wasn't boring. The film's well paced. It has 3 acts or so, 2 or 3 acts. I think it's a 2-act film. The first half's on Tatooine, the second half's with the Yavin and the Death Star. It's pretty good. I haven't even talked about there's so much I could talk about just this one movie. The introduction's amazing. Seeing the Tantive 4, fight scene, I think it's a really good way of introducing things. C-3PO and R2 are hilarious. But some of it's just a bit kind of, I don't know, just a bit black and white, a bit flat. As well as that, we don't get to see much of Obi-Wan. I get the killing off the mentor figure at the start. It's good. I guess there's 3 acts. It's just the Death Star. I'm remembering the movie as I'm talking about it. But yeah, Obi-Wan, getting killed by Vader there. I guess it works for the plot. It's pretty cool, but I feel like he didn't get much screen time, Alec Guinness. And also, but I mean, that will be fixed in the next movie, so invalid complaint probably. I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit simplistic in terms of story, and the dialogue isn't always very good. But I don't know. The characters are endearing. the CGI and like everything is really good. The sound, I'm putting this in the A rank. I'm sorry, guys, but New Hope's the original. I've got to give it credit. It's started everything. I think it's far from perfect. I think it's worthy of an A rather than a B. But yeah, feel free to agree, disagree, give me your opinions in live chat. Glitch. Yes, Obi-Wan has the high ground. Yeah. Platty, really? Sorry, Platty, did you message me? Right, I don't want to show DMs on stream. I can make excuses, but it's possible I just... Yeah, why haven't I must have seen these. It wasn't marked. Dude, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't see these. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't register. I'm having a bit of the day. We can play on Rec Room tomorrow. Sorry, but I don't want to explain now because it would deviate from the stream, but I'm having a really busy day. I was helping my parents with the garden outside. I wanted to, it was nice and sunny, but also I have this presentation to do for my history project, which is like about the Parthenon, and it has to be at least 8 minutes long, and you'd be surprised how difficult it is to stretch it to that amount of time, but it's basically done. I just need to do some recording and then like it's finished. But yeah, and I got to leave at 6 o'clock sharp. Also, my collaborators haven't come back. I'm still on my own. This is not good. I'll check on my other DM later. I'm not gonna worry about that now. No, don't close Discord. I keep forgetting that I should do it, but yeah. I'm really sorry for that. I don't know how that happened, but don't worry about it. I guess it's only natural that you'd ask me on stream, because, it's the next available opportunity. But anyway, let's focus, because I'm with 15 minutes in, I've already covered one movie. Okay, so... this is probably going to be a really unpopular opinion, and I really hate to offend people. I want to just clarify, guys, these are all, like, popcorn movies, okay? If I was comparing them to, like, other movies, they'd all be in, like, C and D rank, okay? This is out of the Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back is probably my least favourite out of the main 6, except for Attack of the Clones. I think they're in the same rank, but I'm going to give it a C, because there's a lot of good stuff. Huge character development for Luke Skywalker. Well, actually, no. Luke doesn't develop that much as a character. You get his training on Dagobah and the revelation, from Vader, but it's like, for the rest of the movie, start to finish, he's still a young, impatient, kind of, Lucy described him as a puppy dog, and he's a good character. But, he doesn't get much character development. The romance between Han and Leia is awful. It's promoting misogyny quite blatantly, which is a big yikes. It's better than the romance in episode 2, and I'll get on to episode 2. It is better than Padme and Anakin, and that was even worse in terms of dialogue. Leia's a great character. I'm not a big fan of Han. Han is a selfish, egotistical chump, and he doesn't really develop as a character until the very end of the 6th movie. So yeah, like, there's no character progression between the 4th movie and the 5th movie. I should say the 1st and 2nd, episodes 4 and 5. There's not really any major character progressions. I do like Yoda and his depiction. It's pretty interesting how he's like, this, again, there's a lot of stereotypical roles, but it works for the story. You've got, the old hermit hiding away, and he's like a little bonkers, and I like how, Obi-Wan comes back as a Force ghost, and, like, they, interact and stuff, and, like, Luke has to face his trials and just choose to save his friends rather than stick with the training. All that stuff. There's a lot of good conflict. The Hoth beginning is brilliant. Seeing the rebellion get crushed and the narrow escape of, like, a lot of their supplies from the big walkers. It was a great action opening. Seeing Luke's innovative, like, strategy and, like, kind of, like, emphasizing that he's a bit of a war hero now and some time has passed. I believe there's actually 2 years in between these movies in canon, which surprised me a lot when I first heard about it, but I think it's about 2 years. But it's good. It's good. Leia's still brilliant. 3PO and R2 are just 3PO and R2. They're the comic relief and they're cool. I like Bespin. I think Lando Calrissian was pretty interesting. He's like Han Solo, but better. He's a smooth-talking debonair, but he's also still sly and cunning and trickstery. But ultimately, he's not a bad guy. He's a bit shady, but he's not Boba Fett. He comes round, he sees that, he should stand up to the Empire. And, I just like his character. I like his character arc. It worked. Boba Fett was a bit underdeveloped. like, for some reason, he's been a fan favorite for years, but he has, like, 4 lines of dialogue, and he's just a bounty hunter. And it was cool seeing the misfits on, like, the Imperial Bridge compared to against the other guys, although, and, like, the casual, like, racism, classism of the Imperial troops, I think was really good. Like, well written, like, oh yeah, these are the bad guys. In the version we've all seen, you've got to understand, of the original 3 movies, 4, 5, and 6, is like a re-edit, though, that was made, you know, for the 30-year anniversary. My friends still aren't back. It's been 20 minutes and they're not here. But yeah, so there's a lot of things George Lucas did which make no sense, unnecessary CGI and stuff, and there's this moment where the, you know, Slave 1 is flying right behind the Falcon, and it's like, how do you guys not see each other? The ship models are brilliant, the iconography, the sound effects, it's sublime. That's consistent across all the movies, it's fantastic. But how do you not, how is Han not seen? It's like, there's a lot of, like, small detail that which is just really dumb. But yeah, I like the ending. Luke getting his hand cut off and losing the saber, and then he gets a new lightsaber in the next one. I thought that was pretty exciting. And Leia being, like, Force sensitive, Yoda saying there is another. I like Leia's character. Leia's probably one of the best characters from the original trilogy, possibly my favourite, not sure. We get a brief glimpse at the Emperor, and I like how they build up to him throughout the movies. It's pretty good. But yeah, you know, the action, the adventure, it's all there. I love the concept of Cloud City on Bespin. I love the concept of the city just, like, in the clouds, like, mining the gases and stuff. And the set design and stuff. There's all the technical things are fairly consistent. So the only things I can really criticize are, like, acting, script, direction, that kind of thing. Why aren't you rating the prequels first? Because these came out first, in chronological order of release. Yeah, the episodes were released out of order. It's a bit weird. George Lucas decided that to do the Clone Wars, he needed better technology, so he waited like 30 years, mad lad, to make them. And he did. It worked out. Although, honestly, CGI was in its infancy when the prequels happened, so the CGI is pretty bad. I actually think the CGI is pretty good for most of it, but there's certain bits which look dire. And, you know, the original trilogy is better in some cases, but it's a bit of a mix. So yeah, that's, you know, Empire and A New Hope. Now, Return of the Jedi, I'm going to give an S rank, because it's not perfect, but it's definitely the best of the originals, and I like it a lot. I think, well, first of all, at the end of the last movie, as poorly written as the romance was, as little as I really felt for Han, they at least did kind of show him to be buddies with Luke. So going back from was a nice, like, intro. Again, they have this intro action sequence which really works for the episodes 5 and 6. So for 6, it's Jabba's palace, the bounty hunters. We get to see more of Boba Fett, which is really cool. Because, you know, he doesn't get much dialogue, unfortunately, which is a real shame. But in this movie, he actually gets a bit more screen time. I haven't even talked about Chewbacca, but he's really cool. There's not much to say about him. He you know, he can't even know what he says and stuff. But he's a good foil to Han Solo. And I like how in Return of the Jedi, you know, Luke's really grown as a character. He's now, like, a more confident, less arrogant, less brash. Like, he's a more matured person. He's actually a Jedi. You know, he's got the black outfit, the green saber, very iconic. The way he goes into Jabba's house, he's the balance of the light and the dark side. Like, he force chokes the guards, but he also uses, you know, more light side powers, like, you know, push and pull and stuff to, you know, save his friends and the jump. I like how the scheme plays out. They're all, like, looking at each other, and you know something is about to happen when they're over the Sarlacc pit again. The concepts are brilliant. Jabba the Hutt is exactly what it should be, a big, gross, ugly crime lord. Lando plays a good part. I like how Leia in this scene, despite, you know, being like literally looking like the trophy female, all chained up, she goes down. She actually kills Jabba with the chain. She's like consistently shown to be resourceful and intelligent, and I just respect her. Carrie Fisher did a great job. Mark Hamill and all of them, I love them all. You know, I know I said I didn't like Han much as a character, but that's no disrespect to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is a legend. He's up there with Mark and Carrie. I love them all. He doesn't like Han Solo. He's played a lot of more interesting characters over time. Indiana Jones, obvious example. I haven't really seen him in much else. I've seen him in a couple other things. 6 Days, 7 Nights. That one other movie, which I think Tom Hanks was in. I don't remember. But yeah, the Return of the Jedi has a really good opening scene. The Sarlacc pit is a like brilliant kind of like conception. Like Boba Fett like gets trapped in it. That's a great well, I mean, The Mandalorian, yeah. Great, just action and, like, kind of plot development. So they rescue Han, and it's, like, realistic. They take into account that he's blind and he's just come out of ice, and it's like, you know, he's not just, like, coming out back to normal. Like, they really think about it realistically. The Rancor as well was pretty neat. But yeah, I like how Luke is like a real, like, he's evolved as a protagonist now since the 5th movie. Like, he's much more confident, he's much more balanced in his views of the Force. He's had training and he's had time. I think there's like another year between 5 and 6. And yeah, the, you know, I'm trying to remember what happens in episode 6 now. I think they end up going to Endor, so I can't remember. But the fact there's a second Death Star constructed so quickly, and then taking into account that it's not even complete and it has that jagged side look, I thought that was brilliant. It looks like a crescent moon rather than a full moon, because in the fourth one they say, yeah, that's no moon, it's a space station. It's a great, you know, continuity and stuff. Vader's brilliant. Vader's been consistently, like, good as a villain, but in this one he shines. We finally meet the Emperor, who is amazing. Ian McDiarmid did a great job in the role. I'm pretty sure it's him in episode 6. My chat's not refreshed. No, it's working. Oh, Diamond Chef here is muted. Hello, I didn't see you join. You can unmute. We're live. Dude, it's nice to finally have you. I'm rating the Star Wars movies. I was just coming to the end of my ramble about episode 6. So Return of the Jedi, I was just going to finish off saying, I know some people don't like the Ewoks. I think they're hilarious. I think the Stormtroopers are a bit of a joke, but I like the whole conflict happening in two places. You've got everyone on the ground and Luke on the Death Star with Vader. Like, he goes to meet him and, like, they have that kind of conversation. And then Vader comes around and, you know, Luke convinces Anakin to, like, get rid of the evil, kill the Emperor, all that stuff. The Emperor was just a brilliant, cunning villain. Oh, and the space battle as well. Just all the aesthetics and the action stuff was really good. It was a very exciting climax. And I just think, as well as Leia being revealed to be Luke's sister as well, there was a lot of good character development. Seeing Anakin alongside Yoda and Obi-Wan as ghosts at the end was pretty powerful. I'm not sure how I feel about Christian Hayden being edited back into there, rather than how Luke saw him when, you know, he took off Vader's helmet. But yeah, all in all, there's probably a bunch more things I haven't mentioned, but like all the sound effects and stuff as well, and the direction. The dueling is much better. I forgot to mention, the lightsaber dueling was really wooden in episodes 4 and 5. In episode 6, it's fluid, it's powerful, it's emotional. You really see Luke, like, fighting against the light and the dark here, like, really, you know, being pulled between the two. It's great. DC, what do you think of the original trilogy of Star Wars movies? Been talking a lot. Nice to see you here. Hello?
I'm here.
Yo, dude. The Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
I mean, I'm just gonna let you talk for now.
Really? Well, I mean, you can talk if you want. I'm just doing on my tier list. Maybe you could, like, maybe making yours while I'm going if you want to make one. But, I'm just reviewing the Star Wars movies. We are tight for time. I've only got 30 minutes left, guys. So, if you are enjoying, leave a like. Check out the links in the description. You can find DC's page on Game Jolt as well, Ethan's page, the tier list. I'll do the QOTD win and charity shouts at the end of my social media pages. It's all there. So yeah, if you want to check that out, be sure to check it. I guess we can talk about the prequels now.
Alright.
Yeah, so anything to say, DC? Like, I don't know if you're checking out the stream, you can see what I've, like, put on the thing.
Yeah, so what is your current tier list?
Well, so far, I put Return of the Jedi in S rank, New Hope in A, Empire Strikes Back in C. The sequel trilogy in Solo I haven't seen, so I'm pretending they don't exist, and the rest of them I'm about to give a rating.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go over the prequels now?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the prequels, starting with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'll just talk. So, this movie's pretty disliked. A lot of people would probably give it a D rank. Because Jar Jar Binks is annoying, the CGI is really bad, Child Anakin is annoying, the droids are dumb. Honestly, I would give this an A rank. Not to be that guy, but I really, really enjoyed The Phantom Menace. First of all, we get to see young Obi-Wan Kenobi, sexy lad. We get to see Qui-Gon. Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor play off each other so well. They're so charismatic. The direction and everything of that whole beginning sequence is just sublime. the pacing's a bit slow sometimes, but I like the logic of everything and the characters. I think Padme's got nothing on Leia, but she's okay. Seeing Anakin as a child is very interesting. It's very interesting. And I know some of his dialogue, "Are you an angel?" is really cringe and dumb, but it's really interesting to see him as a child and how he was brought up. His relationship with Shmi and how it's developed in the second one. The prequels have a much better continuity than the original trilogy. They're very tightly connected. And I definitely give episode 1, you know, a high rank because I like just all the aspects. We get to see a bit of Palpatine, the acting and the direction's great. And at the end, you have 4 different battles raging at once. It's not too complicated, but it's like, you know, it builds up very well. You also get Duel of the Fates. You get Darth Maul, iconic. Qui-Gon's death, massive character development for Obi-Wan. Even R2-D2 and C-3PO shoehorned in, as they always are. The only bits about it I really didn't like were some of the CGI, because it didn't look good. Some of the pacing. The pod race was way too long. The pod race was interesting. It was cool to see how the Underworld did the celebrations, but it went on way too long. It was like 8 minutes long. It felt like half an hour. And it's like, they could have used some of that time to tell us about Darth Plagueis, because he was alive during the Phantom Menace, and so we never get to see it. It's a bit of some wasted opportunities there. But the Trade Federation are interesting. I like how they're shown as these like kind of goofballs being manipulated by a shadowy Sith from the dark, and we actually get to see the Jedi while they're still alive and well, like powerfully. You know, we get to meet Mace Windu and Yoda, and Yoda's quite different. I don't like. No, I do like Yoda when he's like less crazy, but you know, it's a mixed bag. I'd still defend it. I think it's a really good movie. Do you agree? Disagree? Do you see? Hello, Ethan. Ethan's joined. We're all here finally. Hello, lads.
I could agree with you with the CGI effects. It was a bit wonky.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, something about it just seemed very off.
It was very early in CGI days. It wasn't very well blended. There was too much of it. I'm not that opinionated on George Lucas himself. Some people defend him like a saint. Some people think he's awful. I just think that, like, he didn't get the same balance he did with the original trilogy. But he did probably the best he could at the time. It must have been difficult for the actors because there's just so much, like, green screens and blue screens. Ethan, I can't hear you. Yeah, okay, his mic's not working. That's a shame. F. But he'll be here shortly. But yeah, Libby thinks Jar Jar's hilarious, not annoying. I'm just gonna keep going through them. But yeah, like, what do you think? You know, like, episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I just think, you know, the whole ending sequence is iconic. Anakin learning to be being an amazing pilot because he can see things before they happen. It's a Jedi trait. I don't have a problem with the midichlorians either. People think, oh, it takes away from the magic of the Force, that it's a science. I don't care, man. It's Liam Neeson. He's iconic. Very charismatic. I like the interplay between him, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar at the beginning. Jar Jar's essential to the plot, guys. You can't deny it. Ethan's coming back. Hello. Hey, guys.
Yes.
Ethan's here, finally, hello. So I'm on the Phantom Menace. If you guys want to add in your opinions, go ahead. I've only got less than half an hour before I have to go. So I gotta be quick. So I'm gonna let you guys talk for a bit. What do you think of, you know, the original trilogy, Phantom Menace? I'm about to go into Attack of the Clones.
The original trilogy?
Yeah. Anything you want to say about Star Wars movies? Do you want to make your own tier list and compare it with mine?
Well, I think the Phantom Menace is pretty okay. I
gave it an A rank, next to New Hope.
Okay. I'd give it like a B or a C. It's just edging on a B.
Yeah.
I mean, it did start the story. It's the start of the tragedy of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Which is it's a pretty good story. It's a pretty good story, like the tragedy of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
There are a few good memes in that movie as well.
Oh yeah, loads of good memes.
Sith.
No, we'll get
the
to
ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
But yeah, there's loads of. I'm not even talking about the meme potential. The meme potential only increases over time. Yeah, Platty, it's about films, not games. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What can I say about Phantom Menace?
Anything you like.
What keeps it down for me is Jar Jar Binks.
Really, you don't like Jar Jar? Which is
He's
fair
a bit
enough.
annoying.
Yeah, I think he's funny. but I do see an annoying side. He's just like, he's like C-3PO in A New Hope. It's like, you get used to him, but like, yeah, it's kind of like, the humor's too forced. I don't know. I don't dislike Jar Jar, but I won't defend him to the death. I think I can get behind both points of view. He's like, but yeah, interesting.
I'm glad they reduced his screen time in the 2 later movies.
Yeah, it's a shame because he was huge. He had a huge role in episode 2 and only like 5 minutes screen time less. He should have had more. Not so much for episode 3, because episode 3 was a lot more focused, but he should have had more in episode 2, I think. But yeah, he wasn't needed, so whatever. I'm going to place, speaking of episode 2, let's finally place it, guys. So, Attack of the Clones. It's hard. But I'm going to give it a C. I'm going to give it a C. Here's my reasoning. I'm going to try and condense this. So, with the prequel trilogy, and this applies to all 3 of them, CGI, meh, good enough for its time, hit and miss. Soundtrack amazing as always. Technical stuff like sound effects and, that's good. But when it came to this movie, the thing that killed it was the poor script. Anakin's dialogue and Padme's dialogue, because this is Anakin's story. It's about him.
I don't like sand.
Yeah, the main protagonist, all of that stuff, it's just garbage. It's utterly dire. And there were really good deleted scenes that showed the romance in a much more natural, interesting way. Anakin having, dinner with Padme's family, having lunch with Padme's family. It was really interesting on Naboo. And it got cut out for I don't like sand. It's so bad. There's a lot of really, rubbish cliches. But I will still say that this movie had a lot of good stuff. I think it was weighed down by that big thing, but there are a lot of small things which really put it up for me. It's verging on a B, but I don't think I can put it above Empire Strikes Back because... Yeah, what is it?
I did like the battle between Dooku and Yoda, and the battle between between Dooku and Kenobi and Anakin.
Yeah.
Before that.
Let me just remind you guys of everything that's in episode 2, okay? The entire setup of the Clone Wars, introduction of Jango Fett, the Kaminoans, the cloning facilities, impossible, perhaps the archives are incomplete, Geonosis, the Geonosians, Count Dooku, the Separatist Alliance, the revelation that there's a Sith. Now, I think Dooku explained to Kenobi that there's a Sith Lord was a bit dumb, because it's like, why would he reveal that? It's like really... It's like it's shoved in there just so the viewer knows, but there wasn't like a clean way to put it into the story. But, you've got more of Palpatine being cunning, him getting emergency powers because of the war. Obi-Wan just being brilliant. A lot of pluses, I think. We see the clones. I bloody love the clones. I forget the guy who plays them. Something Tamura? The New Zealand guy? He's amazing. We get to see the Jedi fighting. We get to see the lots of Jedi get killed. Like the combat at the end's brilliant. I will say the emotional impact of Shmi's death was pretty well made. I like how Anakin's about to slaughter the village and it cuts away. And when I think the dialogue of him, venting about that to Padme was bad. But I think the direction, and if the script had been better, this would have been a very good movie. I probably would have put it in A if the script had been better. It's just that the dialogue kind of falls flat a lot of the time.
I do like that when Anakin like does something dark, it subtly plays Vader's themes.
Yes, it does. It's pretty good.
Just to signify what's going to happen to him.
Exactly, it's great. Like it really builds on the whole arc. The only real issue with this movie in terms of that is that it's good because it has lots of things happening, which like connect the movies, but it's very long as a result. And they had to cut it really tightly, and it flows pretty well, but it's just very long because loads of things happen in this movie. Do you have any thoughts on Attack of the Clones, DC? Do you think there's any you agree or disagree with that?
I do want to point out that Attack of the Clones had the worst supporting actor award.
Ha! Wow. Wait.
Wow.
Which supporting actor?
Won.
Who were they referring to? Because there's a number.
Is it Hayden?
Hayden Christensen.
Yes, Hayden Christensen.
Hang on, I thought He's a supporting actor. I thought he was like
He's a support character. He's like the main character.
I was gonna say he's one of the main characters. I mean, okay, he's not the protagonist. But yeah. I guess. I mean, yeah. I will say, his acting's okay. It's not amazing. I don't like how he was like a pouty teen who got like angsty about stuff. I think he could have been a much more interesting character. Like Dave Filoni in the Clone Wars wrote him in a much better way. He was a lot more serious, and he was a lot less kind of like tantrumy. But in episode 2, he's just having tantrums all the time. It's pathetic. It's so bad. It's not as bad in episode 3, but yeah. I don't like it. Yeah,
like the 3 movies are showing Anakin's 3 stages of like in episode 1 he's a child, in episode 2 he's like pouty teen, like you said, and then in episode 3 he's all grown up. And he's making his own. Well, he wants to make his own decisions, but Palpatine's seducing him.
I think he's 19 years old in episode 2 and about 23 in Revenge of the Sith or something like that.
So in Attack of the Clones, that I'm pretty sure that takes place 10 years after the Phantom Menace,
10 years.
Then Revenge of the Sith is 2 years after, or 3 years after.
No, it's at least 3. The Clone Wars was at least 3 years long. But yeah, I guess that wasn't so great. I haven't even mentioned properly Christopher Lee is a Chad. I think Count Dooku's one of the best characters in this franchise because, as dumb as the dialogue is, because Christopher Lee's just so good, he carries it off with grace and charm. When he's dueling Yoda and showing off his powers to Obi-Wan and Anakin, it's just fantastic. And his end scene with Palpatine on Coruscant, it's very
Master
good.
Kenobi, you disappoint me.
Yeah.
I like it. I like his lightsaber as well. It's not like
the curved handle. Yeah,
seen.
There's so much like comics and lore with Count Dooku that's really interesting. He's very different to all the other Sith we've seen. You've got like the frenzied assassin Darth Maul. The powerful cyborg Darth Vader. That Dooku's like a nobleman, and he's like he barely ever fights. He uses his words and is like there is a legitimate reason for the Separatists to exist. It's just that it's all a scheme by Palpatine. But there is a lot of logic you can see on both sides, and it's like Padme brings us up in episode 3. It's like, oh, we on the right side of the war, but Anakin's like too far. He's beginning to sound like a separatist. Anyway, I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith for the last. Let's talk about the Clone Wars and Rogue One, unless there's anything else people want to say.
As in terms of the Clone Wars, I don't think I can say anything for it because I've actually never seen it.
We're talking about the Clone Wars movie here, by the way, not the TV series.
I've seen neither of the series or the movie.
Oh man, DC, have you seen Clone Wars movie?
I have, I think, only very part of it.
Okay.
So I could say no.
I have seen it. I don't remember it that well because it's been a while, but I do remember the Clone Wars season 1. And honestly, I'm going to give it a D. I don't think it was a very good movie. I think it wasn't like terrible. But the Clone Wars movie is pretty inferior even to the early seasons of the Clone Wars TV show. The TV show was sublime. We're not going to go into that now, but it was amazing. But although it was intentional, everyone hated Ahsoka. Like, Dave Filoni deliberately made her unlikable, but even by the end of the movie, like, I just don't remember there being much character progression. Also, it's a bit jarring to see the portrayal of like Obi-Wan and Anakin, shortly after Episode 2, but like so different. I mean, no, disrespect to the voice actors, or the writers, or anything. It was, the Clone Wars movie was okay. It was enjoyable, but it was. I don't think it lives up to the TV show and the other stuff. It's just like. Ahsoka's one of the main characters, and she's just this annoying child. Like, she's even worse than Anakin in Episode 2. Anakin's, like, you don't really have a smooth transition from Episode 2 to Episode 3 with him. He's just kind of, like... I don't know. He's not a whiny teen, but it's like he's just jumped into Episode 3 Anakin, which is a bit weird. Same with Obi-Wan. And, like, there's a lot of good memes. There are a few good memes. But like Zero the Hutt, the whole Hutt plotline was it's good. I like how Jabba's son is like the crux of everything. It's quite interesting, but like I don't know, it was kind of dumb. It didn't captivate me as much, and the CGI wasn't very good. The CGI improved a lot, the animation I should say with the Clone Wars, but at the beginning it was I don't know, kind of I'm pretty sure we get introduced to Rex in this movie as well, and we do get the iconic quote. In my experience, in my book, experience outranks everything. But yeah, some of the dialogue is just kind of cringy, and I think like it's less enjoyable because of the bad animation and the weird dialogue than even Empire Strikes Back and Attack of the Clones. But the TV show was very good, so do not let this put you off, guys. Watch Clone Wars. It's essential viewing for Star Wars fans, in my opinion, honestly. But yeah, it's pretty epic. Anyway, how are we doing? What do you think, guys? Do you want I mean, no, neither of you seen it. Shall we just move on to the next one?
Sorry, I was entranced. I was thinking about the Mandalorian because I found this.
The Mandalorian's
Mandalorian
amazing,
meme.
Dude. Fair enough. Gosh, we're running out of time.
Meme.
I'm running out of time.
Mandalorian meme.
Mandalorian's just amazing. It's just S rank. We have a QOTD answer. Livy says Rogue One is underrated because of the fact there's a linked story between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Vorsh says howdy. That's not the real Vorsh, guys. There's no way the real Vorsh has just stumbled across my channel because he's some kind of progressive socialist who does like political commentary. I don't know what he'd be doing here. Hello, Vorsh.
I'm still waiting on that Kenobi series.
Kenobi! I mean, yeah, Kenobi's going to be very exciting. Yeah. Rogue One is underrated because the fact there's a linked story between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I'd say it's more of a New Hope prequel than a link because it's very distant from Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, I get you. But that's what we're reviewing next, guys. Rogue One. Where do we think Rogue One goes? What do we think of Rogue One? Have you guys seen Rogue One?
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Rogue One.
Don't worry. We'll talk about the ones that I was doing at the start, the original movies at the end, because like there's less to say about these ones because these like spin-offs and stuff, and it's like no one's seen them. Have you seen Rogue One, DC?
I seen. I think what I remember, I seen it a while ago, and you know, I was young then.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it a B. Go on.
B. I gotta say, looking back at it, because I don't know when I did. A couple months ago, I was just looking at this one for some reason. Felicity Jones, their acting and all that.
Oh yeah, she's the Jyn Erso, the protagonist, right? Is that who you're talking about?
I believe so.
Yeah, go on.
I gotta say, this movie, it's a 2017 film, I believe. No, it's not. No, I'm so off. This is from year 2017, I think 2016.
I don't
know.
know.
Film.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it's a huge step up from the ones we just talked about. Obviously, it's a newer film.
Yeah.
And especially the part of the CGI and all that, I think it's way better.
So yeah, the CGI is really good in this film. It was made under Disney, guys. So it's up there with like the sequels in terms of CGI.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, I'm excited to get into when you rank the sequels.
I'm not ranking the sequels because I've only seen them like once and it was a while ago, so I'm just pretending they don't exist, along with Solo, which I haven't seen. I've not heard good things on the whole about any of those, but I don't know exactly where I'd rank each of them.
Disney kind of ruined Star Wars with the sequels.
That's what people think, but I've had so many opinions. I'm not sure if I'd actually be controversial and say, oh yeah, I really liked Rise of Skywalker, I put it in S rank. I'm not sure. I need to rewatch them, so I'm afraid I'm just going to pretend they don't exist, guys, because I think a lot of fans like to pretend they don't exist for canonical reasons, but that's just like hardcore Star Wars fans being like, you know, opinionated. I'm not sure. I have mixed feelings about the sequels, but I don't know exactly where I'd rank them. I don't know if I give them S, A, B, C, or D. But I'm going to explain my feelings about Rogue One, alright? CGI is amazing. Direction's awesome. Acting was really good. But I think the way it was written was a bit odd. It wasn't bad, okay? I really enjoyed it. I like how the mystery of Jin's father builds up, and the whole story is about the Death Star and the revelation of the Death Star, and there's loads of fantastic action sequences as well as really, you know, heartfelt character interactions. It's kind of weird because it kind of has 4 acts. The first act's really disjointed because it keeps jumping around between these different characters. It's like a less fluid version of the Avengers with all of these different characters coming together, and I just don't feel like there's enough dialogue that gets them introduced. You don't really feel like, you know, they're like an unlikely family. You don't really feel like, oh yeah, I know this character, I know all about them. There's 1 or 2 like recurring lines, but you don't really like really get in the mind of a lot of these characters. You only see them on like surface level. But there's a lot of good memes. There's 2 brilliant memes that Krennic says. It's like really? A man of your talents? And, are we blind? Deploy the battalions! I love it. But yeah, the space CGI and stuff is fantastic. But I'm this is just in my mind. This is probably not right technically, but like the first act's a bit disjointed. The second one's good. It's got a kind of heist vibe. I really like the Imperial pilot, the defector. He's really interesting. It's interesting to see the divisions within the rebellion and the bad side of the rebellion, and the fact that, you know, I forget the names, but like there are guys who have to like they do all these awful things for the sake of the rebellion, and there's like that kind of like moral grey area introduced, which is really good. The droid K2 is really funny. He's really got brimming with personality for a droid. Great reversal of expectations. I like the blind dude as well, who's like slightly force sensitive, but not that. It's like, it's weird. You don't get too specific on it, but he was really interesting. I like his kind of like philosophy motif, although it does get quite repetitive. I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. And yeah, then the third act kind of defaulted into just typical Star Wars movie. It just went, okay, black and white. Here are the good guys. Here are the bad guys. There's some technical stuff, some quirky character interactions, and like some good action. And that was fine. I enjoyed that. But, you know, there was some, I think there was some missed opportunities. There was a little bit of emotional conflict over the rebel dude killing Jin's like father, or like he was going to, but then he dies anyway, and it's not until afterwards they have that conflict. And I was like, couldn't have that have been before? That would have been so much more intense to see the divisions and all that stuff. Although we do get a bit of that in like the council meeting where they're, you know, on Yavin 4, and you know, Mon Mothma's around, and you've got what's his name from the prequels? What's his name? I forget his name. Bail Organa. And we even get a Kenobi reference. There's so much good stuff. Chopper's in the movie, by the way, guys. If you've seen Rebels, Chopper's in the movie. I like jumped when I saw that, but there's loads of references. There's even a Knights of the Old Republic reference, I think. But yeah, Rogue One's pretty fan servicey, and I think it's a bit disjointed. We don't really get enough time with most of the characters, and you don't really like feel for them that much. Even when Jin finally meets Krennic at the end, they don't have much time together. But the stakes are pretty high. It's pretty good. I like how they eventually band together. I am really spoiling the movie, so big spoilers. You haven't seen it. I'm sorry, but you've had time. What was it Mark Ruffalo said? In this movie, everybody dies. That kind of surprised me. That everyone dies at the end. Well, I mean, not everyone, but pretty much everyone dies. But it's a bit weird because you have the Death Star obliterating the city, firing right at Krennic. Was a nice thing. And then it's like, oh, and then the droid just kind of jumps onto Vader and Leia, and like the hallway scene was brilliant and the ending was great, but it's like, it feels weird because it's like all the characters we've been following for the last 2 hours, they're all just dead now, so now we're just following a different bunch of characters. And some of the jumps in like Jin's like mentality of like, yeah, no, I can't trust anybody, and people don't usually stay around a bad situation, to suddenly, you know what, rebellions are built on hope. It's not a very smooth transition, it's very sudden, but I get that the message from her dad would have been very, very emotional, and I think Felicity Jones did a great, all of the actors were great really, but she did a really good work of showing the diversity of emotions in those scenes. Yeah, that's enough about Rogue One. No one else has seen it, so I'm not going to ramble on about it. Guys, before I place Revenge of the Sith on the list, is there anything we'd like to say before we finish?
Hello there.
Anything? No? Okay. Ready?
I just want to say, I hope you're having an amazing day.
Thank you. Well...
And I hope you're hydrated.
Yes. Hi, guys, hydrate.
Dehydrated.
Water checkpoint. If anyone watches Woodsy, you'll know what that is, because I recently started watching him. And yeah, water checkpoint, very good. He said stay hydrated. Alright, guys. Revenge of the Sith gets an S rank, no question. It's the best Star Wars movie.
It's the memeiest Star Wars movie.
It's not just about the memes, though. Like, the memes are all fun and games. It's the memeiest thing. It's the most quotable thing. But you know why that's the case? Because the script is actually half decent. It is, in my honest opinion, the best Star Wars movie. Return of the Jedi comes close. And I can understand people framing that more because it's, you know, the original one. But I think Revenge of the Sith is still the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Although I think
Revenge of the Sith.
There are TV shows better than all of the movies, but we'll get into that another day. So, Revenge of the Sith, where do I start? The plot is way more focused. You really get into more depth with Anakin's character, Obi-Wan's character, even Padme, as well as Palpatine. They all get loads of time to shine. As much as as important as Jar Jar was, he doesn't need to be in this movie, and he appears for like 2 seconds, which is fine, that's all that's needed. And, you know, the deleted scenes actually should have been removed, and they were removed. Unlike the other movies, they got the right scenes in. General Grievous... Yeah, go on.
I was gonna point out the deleted scenes. I feel like if they were part of the movie, it would really change the movie. Like, not a lot, but quite a bit, because
the pacing and the tone would be a bit broken, you know?
Yeah.
Also, Shakti dies like 20 times. You know, they gotta make a decision on that canonically. But yeah,
he dies like 20 times.
Yeah, she dies. You know, there's a deleted scene where General Grievous kills her on board the Invisible Hand. There's a scene where she gets killed by Anakin in the same way, saber through the chest from behind. Saber through the back. Sorry, that was a weird way of phrasing it. She gets sabred by Anakin during the Order 66 raid on the temple, Nightfall. I think there's a deleted scene from during Order 66 where she's like off-world or something. Or at least there were other scrapped ideas.
Is she just like immortal?
No, she just exists in many places at one time, which is quite funny. But yeah, we get like more on the Jedi Council as well and see how decrepit and inept they are. You know, like Yoda, Mace Windu. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. No, he must stand trial. Again, Anakin is just brilliant. He cuts off Dooku's hands at the start and kills him after Palpatine goads him into it. But he changes his stance on that when Dooku threatens to kill Palpatine because he's like, no, this isn't the Jedi way. Let's not make the same mistake again. But obviously, he's being played by Palpatine because that eventually ends with Mace Windu's death, and you know, him.
This movie is all about Anakin's turn to the dark side and the rise of the dark side.
Yeah, let me just stop jumping around a bit, and I just want to go through the movie briefly and just say all my thoughts on it. Right, CGI is the best it gets. That intro sequence of the Battle of Coruscant is gorgeous. Obi-Wan and Anakin, first of all, their hairstyles aren't cringe, and they are in their most iconic outfits. I love their banter, especially with R2 as well. They have really good kind of dialogue and like playing off each other. It's you know, the movie, you really feel for them. Much more than, dare I say, even Luke and Leia in the original. You really feel for them. Padme is not as good as Leia in my opinion, but I think she still gets a lot of good dialogue, good scenes. You know, you really get Anakin's conflict going throughout. General Grievous is an interesting baddie. I actually think he was pretty crap, just conceptually. They designed his appearance before his personality, and I think that tells you everything you need to know. He was way better in the original Clone Wars than canon, but so be it. Count Dooku was brilliant for what little time we got him. Thought, you know, twice the pride, double the fault. Again, so many quotable moments. Palpatine really pulling the strings, seeing his Chancellor persona and his evil side. It was really good.
He's like the puppet master.
He is the puppet master. He's such a great villain. I love the action. Invisible Hand crashing on Coruscant. Anakin and, you know, spying on him to get, you know, tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. And then all of the stuff on Utapau as well. We really get to see more of the clones, which was cool. And the clones turning on them. Again, it's not really explained properly in the movie, but it doesn't need to. We weren't thinking about that at the time. I like Commander Cody. I like seeing the struggle. And the entire sequence of Order 66 is so well directed. All the different scenes, it really gives you the scale of the entire conflict. And you get to see all these different war-torn worlds and all these different Jedi just getting massacred, who we've seen and connected with a bit in the previous movies. You know, loads of great drama. And then the finale with Mustafar, Anakin becoming Lord Vader, Yoda having to flee from the Senate chambers because he's been overpowered. Him, Organa, and Obi-Wan kind of banding up and realizing, you know, the Jedi are fallen, making that trip to the temple. The duel on Mustafar, the music, the direction. There's so little bad that I can say about it. I'm going to stop rambling now. But it's very good on a lot of fronts.
My two favourite scenes in that movie are the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Anakin's transformation into Darth Vader.
Yes.
When he gets put into the suit, he's screaming for his life.
It's so satisfying to see all the story threads connect up with A New Hope at the end, with, like, you know, Luke and Leia being born. I think Leia dying of sadness was a bit dumb, but I think that's just like a more spiritual way of saying the stress of everything just killed her, because you can die of like a broken heart in a scientific way. There's like bits of, like, if you like stress and like destroy enough arteries, like tragedy, it's weird, but it can happen. And yeah, I like how we see, you know, Yoda, we see Chewbacca We see Chewie, on
We
Kashyyyk.
get a cameo for Chewie.
I love the Chewie cameo. He's awesome. He's just a wholesome guy. Han was originally going to be like a kid on Kashyyyk in the movie, but I think they cut that out, which was fair enough because I think Solo it contradicts that anyway. But haven't seen it. But yeah, I love how you get the Jedi going their separate ways, A New Hope being born, and then leaving the Hope with on Alderaan and Tatooine respectively. The reference to Qui-Gon at the end, seeing the Tantive 4, just the way it blends here is great. And Vader's birth. Vader's just a brilliant character. Such a brilliant character. Seeing Anakin's transformation. Okay, I will say there are still bits of dialogue which aren't very good. There are still some kind of leaps of logic, but I think the movie stands up as the best of all Star Wars today. And that completes my tier list, guys. This is my complete tier list. I pretend these don't exist because I haven't seen them. Clone Wars D, Empire and Clones in C. Poor title, Clones. Rogue One B, New Hope and Phantom Menace A, Return and Revenge in S. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments, because I got to end the stream now. It's just gone 6 o'clock, and I got to go. Do you guys have anything else to say before I end the stream? Anything you want to talk about? Do you agree? Do you disagree with my tier list?
Your tier list is pretty accurate.
Yeah,
maybe
pretty
what
accurate.
I would put.
Yeah.
Especially Rogue One. Best CGI, best everything.
I think Rogue One's a bit of a mixed bag.
Visuals in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah, the visuals in Rogue One is outstanding. Especially for a 2005 film.
They're much better than even Revenge of the Sith, for sure, just because of the technology. Alright.
And that's about what I gotta say.
I mean, if that's all you got to say, you can always comment down below if you've got more to say, guys. But that's all for today. So, if you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check out the social media pages linked below. In addition to that, I want to link today's charity shout-out, which is the Lollipop Theatre. They're an organisation, a non-profit organisation dedicated to bringing current movies and entertainment to children confined to hospitals nationwide due to chronic or life-threatening illnesses. It's a really wholesome movement. They do really good work. I haven't got time to play the video right now, but allowing people with, abnormal, illnesses, cancer, that kind of thing, to have, an aspect of normality, and, just movies, from their hospitals, which ordinarily they just can't go to and, isolate them socially. It's a really good thing, and they've been really successful, as you can see from these statistics. So, yeah, the link to that is in the description. Only one person had to go to the QOTD, so by default, I'm giving the QOTD win to Livy. Livy, I think Rogue One probably is the most underrated. I think it's good. It's not, amazing, but it's definitely up there, and people don't give it credit because it's not one of the main movies. So, let me just find Livy Pageant Kent's YouTube channel. Guys, if you haven't already, go check her out. She does content. She's good. Can we get her more subs? Come on. She's only got 60. I think even, DJ and Platty have more subscribers than her. Although Ethan's booming right now. I'm going to tell them about yours.
I've been watching Livy's content. How does she not have more than 60 subscribers?
Right? This is worthy of at least 200. Probably much more, because she'll improve as she gets more. But yeah, go check out vids, guys. I am guilty of this. I haven't watched enough vids lately, because even though I've been wanting to. It's like Mario Kart, Spyro, loads of good stuff. And yeah, you can check out Ethan and DC in the link in the description as well. Their social pages are there. I
make content.
Yep, he makes content, as it says in the banner. I'm going to show them off, just because I want to. But yeah, this is... let me just go. That's DC's page, and this is Ethan's. So... yes, Tommy is potato chips. He's on Game Jolt. He's making FNAF Builder, guys. You should go check that out. Don't pressure him though. And yeah, Ethan's got 540 subs. Well done, mate. You're ahead of me. Good stuff. He does make content. So yeah, everything's linked below, guys. Even the Fiverr and the music credits and stuff. It's all there. But I gotta go now. So I will see you all very soon. All right. 20 likes and I'll do more soon. All right. Oh my god, I didn't realize the lighting was off. Someone should have said something. Anything else to say, guys, before we go? Ethan?
I'll probably say all my stuff when the end screen's on the screen.
Alright, stay hydrated, guys.
Stay hydrated. Okay, so, check out Matt's to Mist for memes. Check out the other channel, Mr. Hydration, Mr. Matt's Hydrated Highlights. I clip highlights of Matt's best speedrun attempts, anything like that on that channel. I think that's all I've got to say. Oh, and
drink water or you'll die.
one more thing. Yo, dudes, the Empire is like pretty chill. Maybe you should like join us.